So I can't show you much, but I'm gonna sneak you in to the Christ for All Nations School of Evangelism. It is the most diverse and intense evangelism training school that I have ever heard of. So my Christ for All Nations access code doesn't work anymore. So I gotta go around front.
Don't just send us, propel us.
Yes.
Cast us out. And Paula, thrust forth laborers into the harvest.
Yes.
Yes.
You got toast in there though, I saw you.
I was down for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, what were you feeling?
Despite the fact that I have a jacket on, I was extremely warm.
Yeah.
Like it was like inside.
Yeah.
And he even said like there's a coal of fire, and when he said like it inflamed, like I felt like I was in a fire or something.
Because you can get anxious, and that doesn't mix with the Spirit. Anxiety, anything not rest and trust, you'll lose the Spirit. Your Spirit's full trust, faith, peace.
I had a dream one night. I was walking down a narrow road. Listen, and there were harvest fields all around me. And at the end of this narrow road, it was about just wider than a sidewalk, there was a cloud of glory. And I knew the Lord was in the cloud. And it had descended on the road. And there were just miles of wheat all around me. The Lord drew my attention to the cloud. I couldn't figure it out. Why isn't all my attention on the harvest? And the Lord said this to me. He said, live your entire life unto the cloud, and I'll surround you with the harvest. Your entire
It was like an ultimatum, like more than I think all these people feel a call of God, but I think there's a lot of like vacillating, kind of hesitation, and not really taking it that seriously. I mean, it's serious, but it's kind of like a side issue. And I think the Lord just made it really like plain and pointed, like either get on or get off. This is not a joke.
You have been praying, and you've fasted, and you've gone to conferences, you've gone to schools, and I feel like the Lord's saying it's time to step out. It's time to begin to do what you can do.
So School of Evangelism today is finished. There's one more day with an impartation night, and me and Chris just did a couple videos here in the office at CfaN, and he was just telling me something about Simeon. I have a video on Simeon, I'll link it down below, which means listening. But Chris is going to give it to you.
One of the other passages that the Lord kind of highlighted was the story of Peter and Jesus. Jesus is saying, who do men say that I am? And Simon, Jesus calls him Simon. He says, Simon says, you are the Christ, you're the Son of the living God. And then Jesus says, Simon, Simon, son of Bar-Jonah, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but I say to you that you are Peter. So it's in listening that you receive the revelation of identity of who you are.
So every time I come here to Christ for All Nations, I remember when I first got hired here back in 2002, I believe it was. I was working in the warehouse. And just the feeling here, the smells, the sights, it reminds me of the early days of just walking with God here at Christ for All Nations. What are you going to talk about?
They want me to talk about one-on-one evangelism.
Is that what you're going to talk about?
Oh yeah, Dan told me to. But it all comes down to the same thing.
guys, I just received the first copy of Naked Trust, my new book, Strip It All Away. And as I'm reading through it, this may be the most important piece of literature that God has ever moved me to write. I encourage you to go to pulpit2page.com, pulpit2page.com, and pick it up. It's pre-orderable right now. It's a short read, but I feel the riches that are in here are crucial for living a life that only wants Him. God bless you.